Hi guys, welcome to channel Cric. In this video we are going to talk about the Champions League T20 and why was it discontinued. So to start things first up, I will just brief on what the Champions League T20 was. It was a T20 tournament where top performing teams of that particular year from different leagues like the IPL, Big Bash League and the Champions League and various other different T20 leagues around the world would come to this particular tournament and play a 8-team tournament. So when the tournament eventually matured in its third or fourth year, I would like to call it. So in that particular stage of the tournament, there was a qualification round where two teams would get into the tournament. So let's look at the reasons on why was this tournament discontinued. The first reason is about the revenue. So as far as the cricket tournament is concerned, revenue is a very important part. And a major part of revenue for a T20 tournament or rather a cricket tournament is from the ticket sales that they get, from the broadcasting rights or rather from the TRP rates, I would like to call it, the broadcasting revenue or however you want to put it. So and also from the sponsors. So let's say that the first three reasons are definitely going to be interconnected. So firstly, when there is let's take a hypothetical situation where let's say that the game is happening in Bangalore and there are these two teams from Pakistan Super League. You have Lahore Qalandars, and from the Big Bash League you have the Sydney Sixers. Let's take for a hypothetical situation. So when these two teams are playing at Bangalore and there is a very less probability of having full crowds at the stadiums. There is going to be a good level of crowd, I would like to say, but not as significant as the broadcasters or the sponsors or the organizers are going to expect. So in that case, there is going to be a major hit of revenue as far as the ticket sales are concerned. And other than that, there is going to be not a huge volume of people are going to definitely watch that game, and that's what eventually happened. When the less popular teams actually played the league, the TRP rates weren't actually high as much as expected. And other than that, as both the ticket sales and the broadcasting revenue was reduced. Eventually, the sponsors were also not ready to invest in this particular tournament. So, a lack of revenue, is the main reason why this tournament was not being able to continue its progress. So it's due to the loss of revenue and ticket sales. There wasn't it is an interrelated factor, I would like to say. There wasn't a broadcasting revenue, or rather eventually sponsors also were not ready to invest in this particular tournament. So secondly, the reason is that there are or rather I would like to call it the fourth reason also. It is that there is the time zones were a huge issue because see, obviously in India we follow the Indian Standard Time, and in other we have the Greenwich Mean Time and various other time zones. So in this particular region of the country, let's say that if it is 3:30 here in India, 3:30 in the afternoon, it's 8:30 a.m. In the morning in England. So, or rather, however you want to put it, different continents had different time zones. So, if a tournament was going to be held in India, Indian time zone would be around say 7 o'clock in the night. Where in Australia there would be a completely different time zone. It would be say late in the night. So definitely the Australians were a major chunk of Australians would not be able to watch the matches. So due to the time zone issues, the tournament lost its viewers from various countries. So definitely that was a huge reason for the discontinuing this particular tournament. And other than that, one more reason I would like to say is with the expansion of T20 leagues or with the growth of T20 leagues, what had happened was, let's take a hypothetical example for this particular video. Let's say that the Trinidad and Tobago have qualified and the Mumbai Indians have qualified. Both these teams have qualified for this particular tournament, and Kieron Pollard, who is a legend of the T20 game and definitely integral part of any T20 team that he plays. So he has represented the Mumbai Indians and he has represented the Trinidad and Tobago, or rather now they are the Trimbago Knight Riders. So in this particular situation, a player like Kieron Pollard definitely had to have preferences where either he had to represent, he can only represent one team. As we all know, in a particular single tournament, we can only a player can represent only one team. In which case he had either he had to play for the Mumbai Indians, or rather he had to play for the Trimbago Knight Riders. So in that case, many a times players had to play for one particular team and the other team looked very weak. This had happened to various clubs, like in one particular season, if I had to recall, Chennai Super Kings had the likes of Doug Bollinger in their team, and he had also parallelly played for the Sydney Sixers at that point in time. And he if I'm not wrong, it was either the Sydney Sixers or the Melbourne Stars. So if I couldn't recall that moment properly, but then in that case, Dougie Bollinger preferred to play for the Australian team, that is a Big Bash club, and eventually Chennai Super Kings lost him, who was an integral part of the Chennai Super Kings. So in these kind of cases, definitely the teams are going to struggle, and they are going to have a tough time in the tournament. So that was a huge problem for the teams. The teams had an issue, the broadcasters had an issue, the sponsors had an issue, and there was the ticket sales had an eventual difficulty. So all of these factors involved definitely made this tournament, the tournament was unable to continue, and this tournament was eventually discontinued. So these were some of the reasons why the Champions League T20 was discontinued, and we hope that with some of these issues solved, definitely in the future there can be a good tournament. And with football having the UEFA Champions League and that tournament being very successful over decades, let's hope that there can be the tournament can be continued, and definitely cricket can get that great tournament where we see teams around the world competing with each other for glory. So guys, if you like this video, do like and share it with your friends. Do put your thoughts in the comment section below, and please subscribe to our channel. Thank you.